Campaign Leeches, who not to hire for your campaign.
Los otros brutos se sientan en los asientos de atrás.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Campaign Grind. I am Pedro Diaz, I am your host, and this is The Campaign Grind. We are doing a Facebook Live once again. We got a lot of good feedback from the previous one, so we're doing a Facebook Live again. If you guys have any questions, you're watching us here on Facebook Live, please comment. We'll be more than happy to answer them here live on The Campaign Grind. You have any other questions, give us a call, 1-888-688-DIAZ, 1-888-688-DIAZ. As always, we got our great co-host here with us today, Mr. Ray Valdez.
How do you do, my friend?
Good, man. Good. How's everything?
Fantastic.
You know, actually, I was on my way here from a meeting, and I was reading Twitter. I was going through Twitter, and I saw. I want to know what your thoughts are on this. This has nothing to do with the episode. This is something I just thought about right now, and I remembered. Basically, I was reading that the superintendent from Broward County, where that shooting happened a couple of weeks ago, the school shooting.
The school superintendent did.
The school superintendent, or the Broward County school superintendent, was basically saying that the kids are now on spring break, but once they come back from spring break, it's going to be mandatory for them to have clear backpacks, and that the school is going to provide it to them free of charge. You think that's going to have any impact whatsoever? You think that's going to change anything?
I believe that any measure, action that we take will be helpful, whether it's some kind of gun controls, some kind of change in the perception of mental attitude and the violent games on television, or what happens in school.
Games?
Everything.
I don't know if it has anything to do with the games.
I believe you desensitize yourself with these violent games where you have Arnold X running down in the building, chopping heads off, and blood flowing all over the place, and you see the kid there 8 hours a day when he comes from school, and no parents at home to supervise nothing, and so on. This all plays a part in all this. The violent games. In the old days, you couldn't even touch the other guy if you play soccer. Today the coach tells you break his leg or his neck or something.
Well, I don't think a coach tells him to break his leg.
Especially, but you play football. You know that it's got to be a very aggressive, violent game today. It's more. I see less athleticism in these games than I used to see in the old days. I see more violence. I see more violence than everything. People are more aggressive. There's more stress. Even when you get out of work, people just want to rush home so they can have a beer and sit down in front of the TV because they're not brain surgeons or anything. So what's happening? Why are they rushing like that? They rush to work. They rush from work. They rush at work. They rush at lunch hour at work. I mean, it's it's a summary stress.
All right, but that has nothing to do with the transparent backpacks.
The transparent backpacks, that'd be a measure to see when the kids come into school what they're carrying in them. Look at these 2 girls. Wasn't it 2 girls, I think? Or
no, 2 boys and 1 girl.
2 boys and 1 girl. The incident at Parkland. We just had that problem a couple of weeks ago, sort of. And here now, the other day they caught the brother of the kid that committed all those homicides or murders, and in the grounds when he was told not to enter the school grounds many times.
But in my personal opinion, Ray, I think that the transparent backpacks, and guys, we are a little off topic, as you guys can see here on Facebook Live. We're going to be talking about campaign leeches and who not to hire in your campaign. But this was something I read today. I found it very interesting. I just wanted to see what Ray thought about it.
I think it's great. It's like in the airport. You got to see what people are carrying to the schools today.
But I think that that's going to bring more problems. You're opening up Pandora's box. The amount of bullying that maybe the freshman or the sophomore girls are going to be getting because one of their friends sees that they have a tampon or a pad inside their book bag.
Oh, that let me explain something. If they want to see a tampon, that's fine. The thing is, what you want to see is that they don't have a knife in the backpack.
I know, but
and this is the issue. The issue is really not whether they see a tampon or not. The issue is to avoid, kids killing each other in school.
I agree, but it's a domino effect. You're gonna see what they have in the backpack, so it's gonna be transparent. It's clear. You're gonna see that a girl has a tampon, whatever, and then I think that bullying will increase. But listen, we're not talking about that. We're actually talking about campaign leeches.
Well, it's food for thought.
It is food for thought. We'll agree to disagree here. But campaign leeches, who not to hire in your campaign. All right, and we kind of broke this down by who not to hire and who your campaign should really hire once you're running for office. So basically, I want to jump in real quick with who not to hire. People not to hire for your campaign, especially if this is your first time running, or even if you're an elected official already. Don't hire these absentee ballot brokers. Don't hire these boleteras, that's how we call them here in Miami. Basically, that is kind of outlawed here in Miami. People shouldn't or don't use them much anymore. They're kind of like a dying breed. But these are people that basically sell their souls to the highest bidder. You hire them for, what happened to me. I hired them back in 2009, paid them $500. My opponent would give them $1,000, and guess what? I never saw any one of those votes. So especially if this is your first time running, I know you're gonna want to start hiring these people because that seems like the more secure way of getting votes, especially the absentee ballots, which if you're watching this, you know very well absentee ballots makes or breaks any type of election. I don't care if you're running for a small municipal race, a large county race, statewide race, or even a presidential election. Absentee ballots determine the outcome of any election. Take that to the bank. So I know it's going to be tempting to hire these people. The reason why is because they could guarantee you X amount of votes. These are votes that you wouldn't traditionally go out and get because this is their pocket. They're going to make it seem like it's the best thing since sliced bread, but I guarantee you guys it's not worth it.
I agree with you 100%. They will sell you a bill of goods that is not necessarily what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of campaign managers out there, a lot of people that say they are experts and they'll be recommended to you by somebody else. Maybe a friend of yours is recommending you somebody else because he's going to get a commission for getting him the client.
Yeah.
My experience, I would say hire somebody who is a established organization that there is a particular reference of experience and knowledge in the field, and somebody who that has ran other successful campaigns for reputable candidates, and no ghost organizations and people like that, because you never know what they will do. When you hire somebody, I want to say this campaign because I know your stature and your structure and the way that you operate, and so on. And it has to be somebody like that if you want to, stay out or stay clear of future troubles or future claims of, gray spaces from other candidates and so on. You want to make sure of that in the future of whether you're successful or not, or what reputation you do establish, and that will very, very important through who handles your campaign strategist. And I'll go on to the next issue after you.
That's fine. And then so number one is definitely those absentee ballot brokers or boleteras or whatever you guys want to call them. Number two is how Rey was actually saying these shadow corporations that want to get involved in local elections because they have somewhat of an interest in that municipality, that town, that village, that county, or that state. Want to try to stay away from those people, but most importantly, like I said, those leeches. That's the title of this video, those leeches. You want to stay 100% away from those people because those people are just going to suck you dry. They're going to promise you the world. They're going to tell you that they could take you to these events. They could guarantee X amount of votes and so on and so forth. And you as a first-time candidate, they prey on candidates like you. The reason why is because it's easy money. Most people see campaigns as their own personal piggy bank. So you want to make sure that you choose wisely who you're going to bring into your inner circle to get involved in your campaign. The last thing you want to do is bring people in that are going to basically frighten the hell out of you and charge you a shitload of money than to basically bring you nothing. That happens all the time here, especially in Miami-Dade County. There are different consultants. That's what they call themselves now. I guess everybody wants to be a consultant now. Basically putting threat or fear in these candidates and telling them this and we got to do X, Y, and Z because your opponent's going to be doing X, Y, and Z, and they kind of thrive off that. They feed off of that, and then as first-time candidates, you don't know what to expect. So be careful with whom you bring into your campaign. You know, be careful with whom you decide to trust. This is something that you got to take very seriously because especially if this is the first time running, they're going to prey on you 100%. So be very careful. Do your due diligence. Interview different people before you make that step into hiring a full-time staff.
Yeah, very important who you select for your staff too.
Yeah.
You know, make sure that you really meet with your campaign manager, your campaign strategist, and so on. I think that's the campaign strategist should be probably the first or the second decision you make on your campaign.
Yeah, of course. So but right now we're talking about who not to hire. Yeah. So we already got those absentee ballot brokers. We got those boleteras. We're also talking about these shadow corporations that want to get involved. We also got these people that are going to promise you the world, but they're going to basically feed you a whole bunch of fear, and you're going to get scared out of your mind. You're not going to know what in the world to expect because this is your first time running for office. And like I said, lots of people see these campaigns as their own personal piggy bank. So be very careful with whom you bring in to your campaign and start paying. Now, I want to tell you guys exactly who you need to hire. And this is in no particular order. Every campaign needs to have somewhat of a structure. You have a business, you're always going to have the CEO, you're going to have the president, the vice president, sales manager, so on and so forth. A campaign needs to be structured the same exact way. At the end of the day, your campaign is a brand, so you got to treat it as such. One of the first hires your campaign should do after doing your due diligence and interviewing several candidates, and I'm not saying candidates as candidates for political office, I'm talking about candidates for the consulting and strategist gig or job for your campaign. Do your due diligence. Look up at previous reports for elected officials. See whom they hired. What consultants did they hire? What firms did they work with? You know, what people did they bring on board for their campaign? Interview those people that have run successful campaigns in the past. You know, we live in a digital age right now. Everything's accessible. You can find a whole bunch of stuff on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Everybody puts all that information out there. So if you come across a consultant that doesn't have any one of those platforms, doesn't show you exactly whom their most recent wins are, what candidates they've gotten elected, and so on and so forth, chances are they are not very good consultants. If they're not promoting themselves, believe me, they're not going to be promoting you for your candidacy. So make sure you do your due diligence, interview different people for that #1 position of campaign consultant and strategist. Now, a lot of people think that the campaign manager is the campaign consultant and strategist. A campaign manager and a campaign consultant or a strategist are two very different things. The campaign manager deals with the day-to-day stuff of the campaign. Are the phone calls being made? Are the canvassers knocking on doors? Are these things being printed? Is the candidate going to the different events? And then the campaign consultant or the strategist, whichever one, whatever title he or she wants to go by, the campaign consultant or the strategist is the one that basically puts that blueprint together. How many houses do we need to hit? How many mailers do we need to mail? How many votes do we need for election day? How many absentee ballots do we need to secure? Now, I'm not saying secure that you put them in your bag and those are yours 100%, but these are basically homes that you're going to be knocking on that you know for a fact 100% are going to come out and vote for you. So that is the job of a campaign consultant and a strategist. They put that blueprint, that path to victory in place for you as a candidate to execute and your campaign manager to basically whip you to make sure that you get it done.
Yeah. Which is very, very important because, you're going to have a time schedule as part of all that. And, it is very important that, you stay on track. It's very important that you follow that plan that you put together with a strategist.
Yeah.
And that your manager is really a hands-on individual who is going to, because he's going to also oversee the staff, which you want to make sure that the members of your staff are doing what they're supposed to do, saying what they're supposed to say, and carrying out exactly, the mandate of the organization.
Absolutely.
Because it's a very dangerous thing, really, in today politics. Who is out there representing you? What they are representing that maybe has nothing to do with you, and they're mistakenly doing so. So there's a lot of stuff So you need that structure.
No, you need that structure. But honestly, what I tell all of our clients is that we can offer campaign manager services to the candidates, but the number one thing is get your consultant, get your strategist. There's a lot of people, like I said, they get involved in campaigns, they volunteer, they hold up signs, they knock on doors and stuff like that. And after they do that for a couple of candidates and that they get elected, or maybe they don't get elected, they call themselves now consultants or strategists. So be careful with those basically that haven't earned the stripes, haven't paid the dues, because they are out there. They're just looking out there for a quick buck. So do your due diligence. Number one, make sure you get a consultant and a strategist that you feel comfortable with. That is your rock. That is basically the heart of the entire campaign. Then you're going to need his or her assistance in order to find a good campaign manager. The reason why is because the consultant is going to need to make sure that they work with a good campaign manager, somebody that's not going to kind of impose their views on how the campaign should be run. You hired your consultant or your strategist because you liked their strategy, you liked their game plan, you liked the way that they presented it to you. Now you need to work with your consultant or strategist to make sure you find somebody that's going to fit very well within your campaign, that's going to be the campaign manager, somebody that's going to know exactly what their role is to make sure that shit's getting done throughout the entire campaign. All right, that campaign manager is going to be with you up and down the entire day, talking to voters with you, basically organizing the day-to-day stuff for the campaign. So you need to make sure that you get along with him or her, the campaign manager, and that the consultant or the strategist gets along with him or her, the campaign manager, and that everybody's on the same page. The second hire you should do is a fundraiser. The third hire, The third hire you should do is a fundraiser. The reason why everybody always has issues raising cash. Now, I know you as a first-time candidate, you're going to want to jump in and hire a fundraiser first because you need cash, you need money, this and that, and whatever. But the reality is you need to kind of put your ducks in a row, or get your ducks in a row, And the number one thing is a consultant. Number two, a campaign manager. Number three is a fundraiser. You're going to need to pay these people to work for you. You're going to need to have some money to print out signs, print out mailers, hire people to knock on doors and stuff like that for you. So hire a fundraiser. Do your due diligence. Look at the different reports from previous successful campaigns. Even Google, professional campaign fundraisers and stuff like that. And if you can't hire a fundraiser because there's none in your town, look it up online. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Look it up on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of tutorials there on how you can raise some cash, some seed money, what I like to call seed money. Seed money is basically that initial money you get for your campaign that you start planting to do the palm cards, the printing, the designs, and so on and so forth. It's kind of a beginning process, the early stages of your campaign. That's that seed money. To get that seed money, once you get that seed money, you're going to start building that reputation, you're going to start building that brand, and people are going to feel comfortable with donating to your campaign. So look it up on YouTube if there's no professional fundraisers in your area. If there are, reach out to them, see what the commissions are. If they want a monthly retainer, say either you can pay them if it works out for you, great, but if you can't pay them, give them a good percentage of whatever money they bring in, money or monies they bring in. So that's going to be the number three. And then the fourth one and the final one is not really necessary, but it's very important because it is going to take some time to do this, is a treasurer. So you've done your campaign finances in the past. Is that an easy task?
No, it's becoming more and more difficult because there is timelines that you have to meet, and you have to make sure that all your donations are properly recorded.
Yeah.
And
that they're due on time.
And the reports are submitted on time. And it used to be that it was spread out farther to make your reports. Now you have to do monthly reports, every 2 weeks report, weekly reports, and so on. And this is a very important issue. Also, knowing exactly what you're spending, what how much money you got to do what with, putting together a budget, and so on. And you really should have a good treasurer.
Have a good treasurer, because at the end of the day, you're a candidate. You got to be knocking on doors and raising some money. So if you got to take away time from knocking on doors and meeting voters or attending events just because you got to submit your financial report, listen, it's not going to work.
That's not your job.
Hire somebody. That's not your job. Hire somebody to do the finances for you, a good treasurer, somebody that's not going to charge you that much money. Yes, it can be a friend or a family, but they got to be reliable, because should you be delayed on inputting or submitting those forms, you may get some penalties. So make sure you get somebody that's reliable. If you got to pay them, you got to pay them. If you don't got to pay them, make sure it's somebody reliable.
No, and at the end, the closing, at the end of your campaign, you have to close the account.
You close the account.
You want to make sure that your funds have been properly assigned, that you have been properly reported everything. Because when you report something in your monthly or weekly report, whichever, that is not correct, the Department of Elections, or they're going to contact you, and they're going to say, they're going to send you a question, they're going to send you a copy of your filing, and they're going to say, you know, what is this donation? There's missing information here.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is all timely. It's
Absolutely.
very important.
So the campaign treasurer, it's not your job to do the finances, to cut the checks or anything like that. Get somebody good.
Paying for services.
Pay for those services, absolutely. If you guys have any questions, as always, give us a call, 1-888-688-DIAZ, 1-888-688-DIAZ. Shoot me an email, pedro@diazcampaigns.com, pedro@diazcampaigns.com. Guys, we are getting towards the tail end of this show. As always, this show is brought to you by electionmarketplace.com, electionmarketplace.com. Check it out. We actually got... I know I said in the previous episode, but it's really cool. The little spin the wheel type of thing. You get some free, either free designs, free printing, or I think like 20 or 25% off. So visit electionmarketplace.com for all of your campaign needs. Spin that wheel. I think you're guaranteed to win something every time you spin the wheel. So just spin the wheel, see what it is that you get. And thank you guys very much. Once again, electionmarketplace.com. You have any questions, 1-888-688-DIAZ. You got anything else to add, Mr. Rey Valdez?
Excellent. Thank you, Pedro.
All right. So remember, stay away from those campaign leeches. They're just there to suck the life out of your campaign, suck the money out of your campaign. Make sure that you focus your resources on the necessities for your campaign. Number one, hiring a consultant or a strategist that you feel 100% comfortable with. That is you and him or her till the end, till death do you guys part. Second, hire a campaign manager that's willing to work with a team, is a good team member. All right. Number three, you're going to want to get a fundraiser to help you raise some cash to pay the people you're going to hire to basically operate the campaign. And then number four, a good treasurer. You could have your family do it. Like I said, make sure that they're reliable. They're going to submit the documents at the right time. You could hire somebody, you know, once again, make sure that they're reliable, that they know what the laws are, when things need to be reported. One of the last things you want to do is basically submit one of the reports too late, and you get fined a certain percentage of whatever money was raised, or, you know, get fined a fixed amount. You don't want any of that. So,
very personal. Running for office is very personal. You're saying, well, I'm running for state rep, I'm running for congressperson, I'm running for judge, or whatever. But it is your brand. It's your personal brand.
Yep.
This is you personally. It is very important how you conduct business when you're campaigning for office, whatever the position may be. Yep. This is going to follow you.
Even if you're running for dog catcher.
Make sure that, you know, you're on point.
Yep. So don't fuck around with it. Treat this as your business. This is your campaign. Take shit serious. Hire the right people. You know, treat it good. And I guarantee you, if you execute and you do well, you know, you're going to do very well here in your campaign. And once again, if you have any questions, give us a call, 1-888-688-DIAZ, 1-888-688-DIAZ. Until next time, I am Pedro Diaz, signing out.